Greetings and welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my Friday show, the Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges. And I'm once again doing 3 card pulls from 3 different decks, those being the Modern Love Tarot, which sort of will set the general emotional vibration. Beautiful deck. Then I'm going to use, and I don't have the box anymore, and I don't actually remember the name. I know it's one of those Egyptian Church of Light ones. I'm using that for Who's Coming to You. I've swapped out the Final Rose Tarot. So that's the back of that. It's Thoth, of course. And it's very colorful, a little bit pip-oriented in some respects, but I like it. So I'm going to use that for Who's Coming Towards You segment, or part of the reading. And then finally, what does oppose your emotional happiness? And for that, I'm going to use the Tarot of Oppositions, which contains both the reversed and upright meanings on the same card. They're kind of like double-sided, or not double-sided, double-ended would be the proper way to say that. And so that presents a little bit of a challenge. You know, a lot of times here at TFT, we're like showing new decks all the time. I did an unboxing earlier for the new Oracle of the Hecatean Path. It's a really nice oracle. But we want to share the beauty of these works with you. And so part of that is also figuring out how to do readings with these differing card decks, tarot, oracle styles that maybe want us to use them a little differently than the norm, or to honor certain conventions that they've created with their new modern tarot. At any rate, that's just a little bit of the backstory. So we're going to go on, and of course this reading is for the elemental signs of the zodiac. So once again, I'm pulling 3 cards for each of those elemental signs. The first one from the Modern Love is the overall emotional tone that's going on, or vibration that's around you. The second from the Egyptian deck, I'll look that up, I'm sorry, is Who's Coming Towards You. And in that, we just pull cards. I pull cards until I come across a court card. And the court card kind of indicates that quality of that person. And then finally, what opposes your emotional happiness? And once again, that's the Tarot of Oppositions. So, okay, we're going to start with the air signs. And air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So once again, thanks for joining me for this reading. And if you're not a subscriber, you should subscribe. We would really appreciate. We're moving into a growth phase. As we move towards the fall, we're actually celebrating 5 years. We are just now finishing 5 years. In fact, it's today, I believe. 5 years, or it's Sunday, I don't remember, but it's really soon. It's like August, early August. And so we have to kind of really start pushing it to get it more. You know, it's been a labor of love, hence the emotional exchanges, which was our first actual breakout offering after doing the live streams for a year or so. All right, so air signs. What is the emotional tone for the week? The vibration. Speaking of court cards, it's the reversed Page of Cups. So there's a bit of moodiness going on in terms of air signs feeling either the emotional vibe or whatever else it could be. Maybe we're just sort of feeling like we can't seem to rise to the occasion of possible romantic overtures, or even maybe just more emotionally bonding ones. We're maybe a little bit sad and morose for some reason. Not sure why that is. Maybe we'll find out. but it's not a great vibe for the air signs. They're usually a little removed from that emotionality. This almost feels like maybe somebody feels disappointed in, the idea of, what they thought was happening for them romantically, and maybe it's not. So, oh, look at me. I have messed up my cards. Okay, that's good. Sorry about that. So now we're going to say, who's coming towards us for the air signs? And even if you are already in a partnered situation, it could still be that somebody is looking at you and wanting to move towards you in a romantic, sentimental, or emotional way. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Who is that person moving towards you? And I don't know, maybe you have an open relationship, so maybe, things are different. I don't know. I don't know. I don't need to know the private things. Wow, it took a long time. And it's the Knight or Warrior of Cups. He's upright. So it seems like it's maybe somebody who is, once again, of an emotional nature. Who's coming towards you is maybe the epitome of what you want in romance, because as a Knight of Cups, its very definition is it's something moving towards you. So maybe this sort of isn't just random. Maybe there is a specificity about somebody moving towards you. They might be a water sign. They might be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I know some, air-water combinations. And they work out, depending, all things considered. So I like the idea of what I just said, though. The idea that maybe for the air signs, this represents really the best of all worlds in terms of thinking of somebody who is emotionally compelling or alluring to you, but seems to be also moving towards you, is in fact moving towards you. So now then, despite all of that, we want to find out what opposes your emotional happiness. I'm using the Tarot of Oppositions. It's the reverse sun. And of course, the sun reversed is never a bad card. On this card, it sort of contains both the upright sun now in the reverse position and then the reverse sun in the ascendant position. I think this is maybe saying your own perception of your happiness is what opposes you the most at this time. That any feelings you have of not feeling complete or not having feeling like you really have sown or created the vibration you wanted is mostly on you. So air signs, mostly this is saying really change your attitude and maybe change your emotional happiness. All right. So now we will move on to fire signs. Once again, the emotional tone with the Modern Love Tarot. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What is the emotional tone or vibration around you this week? reversed Seven of Wands. You feel, maybe emotionally speaking, over challenged. Maybe you feel it's yourself, but maybe it's more likely you feel that you are put in a defensive position about what you feel emotionally, either for your partner or for yourself or for other situations. And so maybe this suggests that, somebody doesn't approve of you and your situation, whatever it is, and maybe that's on them, but it does put you in a defensive mode. You're defensive about what you feel emotionally, no matter if it's a societal convention thing or not. And so that is something that maybe you have to think about this week in terms of why are you feeling that way and how will you make it, better. So let's see if something is coming towards you, fire signs. Something is coming towards you, someone from either loving or emotional or interested point of view. And it's the Mistress of Scepters reversed. She's also known as the Queen of Wands reversed. The person that's coming towards you maybe doesn't seem like they're very confident, but maybe they're looking towards you to provide incentive. They may be drawn to you, but maybe there's an anti-charisma about them in some ways, or maybe there's something that's too brash, too demanding. Maybe there's somebody who you could feel could be antagonistic, and yet somehow they seem to be interested in you, coming towards you, as we're saying here. So it might be interesting. They could be a fire sign, so they could be like yourself, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But for some reason, it just sort of feels like there's something antagonistic about this happening. Okay, so now we'll move on to our final card, which represents the idea of what opposes your emotional happiness. And I'm going to use the Tarot of Oppositions. Once again, for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it's another court card. It's the King of Wands, once again a fire sign. They're upright, but of course there is the reversed image below indicating that some of this plays into it. And so what opposes you is maybe the shift in confidence or non-confidence that you may be feeling, that sometimes you do feel brave enough, charismatic enough, and sometimes you feel deprived of that. Sometimes maybe you feel you don't feel confident of how you express yourself. There's a lot of sense of maybe the idea here of networking, of friendly enterprise or friendly engagement, people oriented, and so you vacillate. And so maybe this is about really you growing more secure or learning how to really deal with that. Maybe there is a time sometimes to back off and to not represent yourself as overconfident. Just saying. So that's it for the fire signs. And we'll now move on to water signs. Water signs, like myself, are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we're back to the Modern Love Tarot for the general tone or vibe of the week. Water signs, what is the general tone? And what is it with these wands? We got the King of Wands again, only from the Modern Love Tarot, reversed. The general tone maybe is for water signs, you too are feeling not quite as plucky as you normally are. You know, you can kind of see it sometimes with some of the water signs. They get a little bit more moody or emotional. But this is saying like maybe slightly big time, you know, maybe this is saying water signs, the general tone makes you feel like you're trying to downplay your own charismatic nature or how you feel about that, how you express yourself. You know, the wands, the court cards have a lot to do with our expressions of self, confidence, charismatic, brave, dependable. You're just not feeling it this week, and so that's the general vibe for you. But let's see if, on the other hand, you know, somebody still is coming towards you. So I'm back to my, God, I keep messing this up. My Egyptian deck. Maybe it's trying to tell me not to use it. But you know what? I really like it. I think it's so colorful. So I don't know how that happens. Anyways. And again, I'll print the name at the bottom. I seem to have forgotten what the name is, but I'll look it up. I've had it for a while, but I don't use it often, mostly because I got too many other decks to use. So, anyways, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, who is it that may be coming towards you in love or strong feeling? And it's called, there we go with the wands again, the Slave of Wands. That means it's the Page of Wands, Slave of Scepters, Page of Wands, but it's reversed. So it's likely that maybe somebody who is younger and maybe, or maybe not so mature is coming towards you, not necessarily in a good way. They might need more from you than you are able to give them. They might be a little, you know, demanding in a way. Maybe they also too really sort of bring with them a sense of a bad news or vibration, like, you know, I don't know why, but like it feels like, you know, like you're forced to sort of be their companion for some reason. And I don't think this is necessarily about romance, but maybe it's, you know, I almost feel like maybe it's a younger relative of yours, you know, in a way, a nephew or a niece, you know. But as the Page of Wands or Scepters, it could be a fire sign like yourself. So it could, or I'm sorry, fire signs like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They might be coming more towards you in a sense of an obligation, like something, not about romance, but something about just trying to get connected somehow, get into the network that you represent to them. So interesting, but let's move on now to what is opposing the emotional happiness for water signs. And once again, using the Tarot of Oppositions for that. One more good ripple. They're still a bit stiff, even though I've been using them for a while, but it means that maybe they'll last longer, hopefully, right? All right, so water signs, what is opposing your emotional happiness? And it's the Ten of Swords, and it's in an upright position. We can tell that the bottom half of the card is the downright position, but there is maybe a range between these. What opposes you maybe is realizing or not realizing that there is somebody who actually represents a sense of a personal enemy, and although they may want to stab you in the back and leave you, there's also something that connects them to the idea that maybe they want you to push back on them, that they want you to put them in their place. So it's kind of weird, like maybe there's somebody that just has this really, and it's water signs, you guys, you attract people to you. But it feels like, that sometimes you just need to learn, and I have a wife who would say this, how to trust people better or not trust them at all. And to some degree, this looks like an issue of trust that maybe has changed over time. Somebody who has maybe moved from the good column to the bad column, and they're still trying to muck things up a little bit. So watch out for that. Water signs. I know it sounds vague, but these people do kind of resurface in your life from time to time just to see what they can do. All right, so finally we are moving on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We're once again seeing what the general tone or vibe is with the Modern Love Tarot. And the Modern Love Tarot is done by Ethany with art by Lucy Morningstar. I like it because it is, of course, a modern interpretation. There's a lot of gender fluidity, gender roles, all that kind of stuff. So it's great to use always, but I definitely used it a bit during June and Pride Month. Happy to do that with my card readings, and we have a number of decks like that, so it's very cool. So earth signs, what is your general tone or vibe this week? Oh, here we go again. Wands, Page of Wands again. What is it? It must be something astrological, I would almost wonder. So the general tone of vibe, though, is really good here. It's the upright Page of Wands. It feels like there's a lot of positive activity connecting you to messaging with people, to getting out your own news or receiving news, feeling optimistic that things are moving in a good direction, or that you feel like you're engaging, and new things are happening. So that's great, earth signs. So then what is possibly who coming towards you, emotionally speaking, or not? We saw with one of the signs that maybe there was something a little bit different than romance exactly, but it seemed to have a sense of an obligation, emotional to some degree. So who's coming towards you, earth signs? What is the kind of personality or situation that could be coming? And of course I do that by flipping over cards till I come to the first court card. And then I use my own interpretation for that. And we didn't have to go so far, and it's once again Wands. It's that Queen of Wands, the Mistress of Scepters. She's upright. So she represents a personality that maybe could be a fire sign. They could be, or have, with any of these, just a lot of focus on planets in those signs in their chart. So this could be, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarian kind of elements in play. But beyond that, it represents, a strong personality, somebody who's very confident, charismatic, and also, too, really wants to make an impression. The Queen differs from the King in the sense of maybe, to me at least, wanting to really go out there and sort of, strike a pose, be noticed. The King is a little bit more grounded in their sense of charmingness. The Queen just takes it a little bit further. So that's the personality or situation with somebody who could be coming towards you. So now then, what is it that actually opposes your emotional happiness, at least for this week? And once again, using the Tarot of Oppositions. I want to thank everybody for coming and watching. Don't forget our other shows. I'll get to those in a minute. What opposes your happiness, Earth signs? And it's the upright Page of Swords. And you notice, of course, that at the bottom half of the card is the reversed. So this suggests, of course, a sense of a liminality, a sponginess between those concepts. What opposes you is maybe not holding yourself to your skills or talents. You know, when you're talking about the sword, you're talking about somebody who maybe is pretty principled, but once in a while you're getting sloppy, Earth signs, and so you're being a little bit clumsy, you're saying tacky things, you're not watching your words as much. But what opposes you is that maybe people notice that idea that you're not always consistent with being, you know, personal and diplomatic and a dexterity about you. They just notice maybe that you flip-flop a little bit. And it could just be now. It's just this point in time where maybe certain issues are maybe making you a little bit, you know, wishy-washy on things. Hey, Earth signs, I think we're all sharing in that a little bit. You know, when you think about it, these are kind of hard times in America, you know, where, you know, you want to like everybody to some degree, but sometimes you have to work with differing opinions or philosophies, and just everybody try to be civil and nice to each other, you know, as best as you can. There's a lot of work to do to rebuild everyone's confidence in what our country should stand for. And we all have to learn to listen and to be amendable to change. You know, it doesn't hurt to change a little bit, and that's for everybody. So anyways, I wanted to mention that, of course, happy hour is on tomorrow at its normal time of 10 a.m. And then, of course, on Sunday, Banshee's Material Matters at 10 a.m. We're live in the chat room for that pre-recorded show. And then later on, you can catch us at our live stream Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. So thanks everybody for watching. Hit the like button, please. And I will see you next time for my outlook on emotional exchanges. Bye-bye.